After spending 7 years in Fieldhouse, and this Fever offense has been swings. Clark on a step back.
Big team. They have size at every
time these two teams matched up. It was here with the win. That was back in May. This is Odyssey Sim.
Handful of times, and it's been such a
Jackson averaging 13 points per game.
Break, and you can't let Kelsey Mitchell get.
She's pulling away a big lead.
LA has
going to work on Stevens, and here is Stevens who will launch.
Most teams have to.
Indiana with the defense. Lexi Hull going coast.
Not enough changes for this team.
Here's Mitchell putting on the move. Hamby goes back to work, and the scoop. Clark, step back. It's Hamby who will fire from 3 off the.
All the hard stuff. And
to win Rookie of the Month and Player MVP. Here is Nalissa Smith, fire away. Just 11th in the WNBA. A week ago today, they. Cameron Brink.
Mitchell and Clark.
Awards. The coaching award.
It is New York, the top team in the league.
Mitchell was equally, if not more, deserving. Hamby just puts her head down.
Doesn't like to party. There's still a lot of work to be done.
For the franchise.
No question. She said 4, maybe 3. We're in the 6th spot in the play.
Odyssey Sims finds some space. Hesitation. Clark gets inside. Hamby fighting through traffic. Flips it up. Shot. Here is Stevens on the roll. Up. Mitchell, hand off Boston. And
she's really good in the.
Mitchell, catch and shoot. Whistle there.
Since the break, 100. It's amazing.
Mitchell leads all scorers with 7.
Mitchell doing a really good job fronting Rakia Jack.
Indiana times. Here's
Legal post who can run off screening.
Door pass finds Kia Nurse. Fever turnover, so it hasn't hurt them in. Jackson, nice footwork. Comes Boston, flips her shoulder, and it's an off. Ray Burrell, who's just checked. Clark stepping back on the base.
To her game as well.
Burrell attacking the baseline.
Such a low scoring first quarter.
Shots because of that turnover.
Relax just a tad. You're playing.
Clark will launch up. Good fortune here if you are a fan of, and both playing in this building.
You can say that about the Indiana Fever. They
here in May. Clark, 5 highest scoring game, had more than that in a season.
To spend on all the numbers.
On the bounce, Dantas charging inside baseline. There's Burrell through
players. Smith and Dante.
Mitchell. Here is Nurse stepping back, launching, and she was here. She hit 5-3. Here is Clark floating it.
Fast break opportunities.
Nurse stepping back and
rid of it quickly. You got to move the ball.
In the WNBA, so it's a little below.
Turnover margin, a +2 rebound, 17 points a game.
And Kelsey Mitchell as she steps into a 2 there with Ray Burrell and Kia Nurse.
Help Indiana.
Dantas over a double. On the drive, draws the foul.
Average. Execute in the quarter court, and now can get you with some mismatches.
Still trying to get this Indiana offense kick-start.
He's on the season.
And
home of the Imps, same place as me.
Clark, good feed into Boston. Here's Azare again. Oh, doing
D.
And Boston on the other end. Oh.
And executive of the year in this league. Indiana play offensively.
Well, worth noting that sometimes it does. It's a 2 a couple of times. So they've got some impressive wins.
Go to LA's practice in the W because they work.
Here's Burrell fighting inside and then backdoor cut. It's Mitchell.
What a tremendous.
Just 3 total points since the minutes. We haven't seen Christy Wallace.
Coming off the bench again. Still in the same sentence.
Jackson trying to create, driving on Samuel.
Starter on this team, number 2 pick in the draft. Having Cameron, we're sending our best to you. Because she wanted to be here, and for Rakia, it's like you're going to be an all-star.
No question, and that's what. Advantage on Wheeler and Jackson.
She's an incredible athlete. You're a rookie, that's impressive.
Oh, Clark.
I might blitz the first ball screen.
Sims into hole and Gill on the drive, turns the corner and gets to the
over the thigh pads.
Now, we've seen that speed be such an break. Smith going one-on-one.
Passers out of that play.
Here's Stevens. Point shooting teams in the league. Stevens will try it again.
Aaliyah Boston getting away.
On a regular roster deal, some rules, but not a full-time gig. Is able to shovel it there to Stevens.
To it here in the second.
Clark once again. Mitchell staying aggressive, flips it up. Here in the second half. With a crossover, driving into Smith, leaves it. Clark crossing over, and misses. Sims giving chase. Here is Hamby on the other end.
Somebody back. We were on the same side. Look at Boston.
Tactician. It's always a chess match.
A timeout or a substitution.
But John to Boston, driving on Boston, and
Hill gets you in isolation. Look to it in Dallas.
On the drive, Clark hangs and banks it.
Can't stop her.
Jackson turning on, trying to establish lead. Gonna have to hoist from way outside. On 16 points here so far tonight. Here is Clark launching.
This match for Azurá Stevens. It's a really space to snake behind. You put a lot of pressure.
Drops it for Smith. On the other end, Nurse is open. It right there.
Yeah.
And Sunday. Base decision for Christie Sides. Extra pass. It's win. Indiana back up 5, and Clark trying to answer. You better break out of that here as Sims on the drop.
They like to run for Kelsey Mitchell.
Nurse weaving her way inside and
Try to force some slippage.
Boston back for Clark. Let the Fever sit over to Burrell, who's open. Close out the third, but it's minutes here today. Dantas fading, firing.
It's tough to guard. What a take by Burrell.
Driving on Burrell, hangs and can't get
Guarded by Mitchell and Clark.
And Sparks have just not gone away. They've Boston spinning inside.
Game. Nobody in the league runs.
Clark lobbing inside. Oh, difficult.
And Clark have done the bulk of the score and her ability to run the floor, play one.
Fever hit with a moving screen. Frustration there from Clark. Step back, hits a three, going behind the back. Oh, it's for the most ever.
Let me correct myself. It's
Nurse, will she get it off in time? Just does.
so good at creating separation to get into.
Mitchell pulling up. Fever have far more important things at hand. Hamby rolling, runs into hole, shot two.
Lexi Hall does not need fantastic.
Free on the CBS Sports app. We're at 3-on-2. Sims taking it right up the middle with the rebound. Oh, pretty spin. Christie Sides really. Burrell catch and shoot. Whoa, wait.
Shooter open.
Mitchell, that's a deep defensive end. And they lost Hamby. Here as a pro comes in your 10th season, averaging 18 points per game. That's
A remarkable run by them.
Mitchell hoists and had it.
Her 10th assist.
Gets reinforcement.
Coach's assist. When Christie Sides.
And Hamby right into Smith, maybe got away with. Indiana has been much more secure with their passes. Smith lost the handle. Shot clock down to Smith. Right move. Floats it up. Gets the Erica Hamby. You're not battling like this.
And Erica C.
Hamby's had a nice second half on the drive. Smith lays it in. Getting going here in the fourth quarter. Sims on the floor right now. Clark lets it fry. Their direction. I think Clark and Mitchell 11 assists and 12 rebounds
To close out games, right? And they back.
behind her. Here is Stevenson fire. Thought about the three and traveled. Back her way in. Backing in on Steve. Didn't get called for that.
That's a really good ATO by Indiana.
Of the season, and that tops. And a bit. Nurse drives inside. Sims picks her pockets, and Sims has the ball under 2 minutes to go, trying to bridge Fieldhouse. Mitchell will take it herself on the.
Their tendency for the Fever is Kelsey.
Back, here's a Boston three. Nurse is left open. She get Boston. Mitchell
Has been outstanding.
big break. Have we called her name?
17 for 25. Continues to lead the WNBA out here. I like the strategy. Play D. Get
Three, drives her way inside. Muscles took. Also have a shot here if the Fever can.
to call timeout.
Not surprising. And it's up. It won't go.
Caitlin, what a reaction by.
Burst out of their seats like it was a game. They're a triple-double, and she earned herself a.
Like you're not team. Is it somebody back? You were Caitlin Clark on the same side. Look at Boston.
He's such a master tactician. It's always a chess match.
Change the rhythm of the game. Sometimes it's a timeout or a substitution. Same all the time.
Sims to switch on to Boston, driving on Boston, and
So they're very much a downhill. Gets you in isolation. Look to it. They average 17 points on a hardship in Dallas.
Sparks. Clark being watched by Nurse. Clark on the drive. Clark hangs and banks it.
Defender. Really can't stop her.
Jackson turning on. Trying to establish lead. Shot clock down to 5. Sims gonna have to hoist from way outside. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, each sitting on 16 points here so far tonight. Mitchell the switch on to Lee. Here is Clark launching.
Snakes behind it, and she creates this mismatch for Azurá Stevens. It's a really, when there's that much space to snake behind, you put a lot of pressure.
Mitchell putting on the moves. Mitchell on the drive, drops it for Smith. Way too strong. Sims has it on the other end. Nurse is open. In her prime. That's it right there.
Yeah.
And win over Dallas on Sunday. Kind of a matchup-based decision for Christie Sides. Clark on the drive, behind the back to Boston. Extra pass. It's waving up good looks for great looks. Indiana back up 5 and
Beat triples.
Clark trying to answer. You bet out of it, but we are starting to break out of that here as Sims on the drive.
Triple of the season.
The night is almost what you expect from her.
Caitlin off that Iverson action. That's an action they like to run for Kelsey Mitchell.
Nurse weaving her way inside and
Be there in the last couple of possessions. Try to force some slippage at a confident level to finish off the season.
Boston back for Clark. Clark's hit 3 of them. With the fever. Sims whips it over to Burrell, who's open. Defensive possessions there for the Sparks to close out the third. But it's
Really battling in there for position.
Wheeler getting some extra minutes here today.
Has been better in their court action.
Dantas fading, firing. Haven't gotten a good look.
Oh, that scissor action's tough to guard. What a take by Burrell.
Split the double. Clark driving on Burrell, hangs and can't get.
Giroux is being guarded by Mitchell and Clark.
And Sparks have just not gone away. They've had a sink at times. Boston spinning inside.
Such a good two-man game. Nobody in the league runs.
Clark lobbing inside. Oh, difficult.
The points up because Mitchell and Clark have done the bulk of the score. Diminish the value that Aaliyah Boston brings and her ability to run the floor, play one out of that high post area.
Beaver hit with a moving screen in the backcourt. A little frustration there from Clark.
Because she can get a bucket on anybody.
Clark, step back, hits a three. Here comes Clark going the other way. Clark going behind the back. Oh, it's... Which ties Brianna Stewart for the most ever of her recent games.
And let me correct myself. It's
Nurse with a shot clock down to 2. Nurse, will she get it off in time? Just does.
stop it. It's because she's so good at creating separation to get into the way she creates separation.
Mitchell pulling up. Rebound shy of a triple-double. Beaver have far more important things at hand. Hamby rolling, runs into hole. Shot 2.
Lexi Hall does not need. We've seen that since the Olympic break. She's been fantastic.
Omaha, you will be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at turnover. Here comes Sims with a 3-on-2. Sims taking it right up the middle. Connect on that 3. Smith with the rebound. Oh, pretty spin.
Indiana.
Christie Sides really in need of her. Burrell catch and shoot. Whoa, wait.
Indiana overhelps and leaves the three-point shooter open.
Mitchell, that's a deep 2. Weaver Needham stops on the defensive end, and they lost Hamby. Not often your best year as a pro comes in your 10th 30-year-old De'Erica Hamby, averaging 18 points per game. That's
And ended up getting in the medal round. It was really a remarkable run by them.
possession there for Indiana. Shot clock down to 3. Mitchell hoists and had it.
Caitlin's looking for her 10th assist.
Gets reinforcement.
You know what? I've said this before. It's called a coach's assist. When Christie's getting the ball to the right place.
And 22 points. Burrell bouncing here for Hamby, right into Smith, maybe got away with. Big problem, especially in the first quarter. Indiana has been much more secure with their passes. It's here tonight. Smith lost the handle, shot clock down to Smith. Hamby attacking Boston, spin move, floats it up, gets. Maybe if you don't have a De'Erica Hamby, you're not battling like this.
Here. And De'Erica's teammates.
Hamby's had a nice second half. Boston, here is Smith on the drive. Smith lays it in. Smith getting going here in the fourth quarter. Sims on group here. Now, a lot of veterans on the floor right now. Clark the switch on to Talbot. Clark lets it fly. Could have gone, Kelsey, thank you, either direction. I think Clark and Mitchell combined for 40 points, 11 assists, and 12 rebounds.
Indiana has relied on their defense to close out games, right? And they back
on a three. Talbot tipped it behind her. Here is Stevenson fire when they needed it. Talbot back up top. Hamby thought about the three and traveled. Had Mitchell there for a moment and said she'll back her way in. Backing in on Steve. Reaching around earlier in the play. Didn't get called for that.
That's a really good ATO by Indiana.
Boston with their 12th double-double of the season, and that tops. And a bit for LA. Nurse drives inside, shy, but that time turns it over. Sims picks her pockets, and Sims. What a major swing here as Indiana has the ball under 2 minutes to go, trying to 50 remaining here from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Mitchell will take it herself on the
baseline out of bounds. Their tendency for the Fever is Kelsey.
Mitchell whips it back. Here's a Boston three. Cross court, Nurse is left open. Mitchell, shot clock down to 5, doesn't like it. Boston, Mitchell.
She has been outstanding.
How often here out of the Olympic break have we called her shot?
I mean, she's been 17 for 25. And Clark just continues to lead the WNBA. Kurt Miller electing not to foul here. I like the strategy. Play D.
Boston, shot clock down to 3, drives her way inside, muscles to.
And she does have one already.
Also have a shot here if the Fever can.
Indiana not electing to call timeout.
WNBA, not surprising. And ball, no huddle. It's up, it won't go.
Oh, it's a triple-double for Caitlin. What a reaction by
fans in this building. They burst out of their seats like it was a game of 8 out of the Olympic break. She had a triple-double and she earned herself